Middle school students returned to their buildings in mid-April after learning virtually at home for over a year. At Norview Middle, students arrived to a very organized and safe school campus. Although this first week felt like it was the start of the school year, students and staff quickly adjusted to the new routine and enjoyed seeing one another.
Well, we kind of treat this as that first day of school. September, they're getting to feel each other out and getting to know us. So I feel like we're getting to see the silence of the students right now. They're kind of quiet and they seem a little nervous at times, but a lot of them are so excited.
I'm so happy to have the kids back in the classroom. I've been waiting so long to see them. I've been telling them for months, I'm so excited to meet you in person and give you little elbow bumps and say hi. And so just leading up to them coming back to the classroom, I was so excited. I was so ready to make my room all nice for them and to see them in person. It's just so much nicer and easier when you have that face-to-face communication with the kids. And you really get to know their personalities a little bit more when you're face-to-face versus on the computer.
Over at Northside Middle, everyone was also thrilled to have students back. Like Norview, many things in the building have changed to keep students and staff safe, but it hasn't hindered anyone's delight at seeing young people in the school again.
It's been very exciting. I think there was some reluctance or nervousness, but once the students got in and they saw there were routines and procedures in place, and they got to see a friend to whom they haven't been able to see in person for some time, I think that they are excited. I know that our teachers are excited because the unknown was a factor that made everyone a little uncomfortable. But once you get in and you have procedures in place, I think that we are excited. I know that we are excited.
It's been great, actually. I had a little bit of anxiety trying to do concurrent teaching, but actually having them in the classroom, it's actually a joy. I feel myself smiling behind my mask sometimes, okay, you guys, actually having feedback from the kids, being in the seats and raising their hands and oh, the answer, oh, yes. So I get excited more.
It's a lot more fun. The reason I became a teacher is I really enjoy being around the middle school age kids. So when they're in the classroom, it's just a lot more lively. It gets really old really fast when you're sitting there teaching on Zoom and no one's talking to you. But when they're in the class, they kind of have no choice but to talk to you, and they get really excited and they're really happy, and that makes me really happy.
April is School Library Month, and among our district's awesome media specialists is Linda McIntyre at Fairlawn Elementary. As a media specialist at Norfolk's only K-2 school, Ms. McIntyre's primary goal is to teach our youngest learners to love reading, even in a virtual environment.
It's been a learning process. It's just been so much new things to learn about, and to figure out how to do things virtually that we never did before. Trying to figure out how to get books in kids' hands and teach them how to read in a virtual environment is really challenging. I have classes all morning long, and that will either be virtually if the kids are still all virtual, or it will be in the classroom if they're a hybrid learning environment. In the afternoons, I check out books to the children, and I also do small group reading instruction.
Ms. McIntyre is an outstanding media specialist, and her aim is to make sure boys and girls have books in their hands so that they can read. During the pandemic, she would come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays to pass out books to parents. Now that we're back in school, she continues to do virtual and in-person teaching with boys and girls, and she has a time that they can check out books. She has set up a system where they'll have their own little book bags with their names on it, and they will check out their books and they'll put them in the bag, and then she would tell them when the return date is, and the boys and girls are able to check out their own books.
I love being a media specialist because I love getting books into kids' hands and watching their eyes light up when they are enjoying a story.
I've had a lot of outstanding media specialists, but Ms. McIntyre is very talented. She supports the students, the parents, and the teachers. She goes over and beyond her duties.
I used to be a third grade teacher, and I loved being a third grade teacher. But I grew up loving reading and I think that's what made me a good reader. And I want the kids to love reading, and so I chose to be a media specialist so that I could engage with more kids and teach them to love to read.
Anthony Swann, the 2021 Virginia Teacher of the Year, stopped by Ingleside Elementary to deliver a special message of hope to teachers and take a brief tour around the building. He did, however, spend most of his visit speaking to a group of African American male teachers at the school about the importance of building relationships with students and encourage them to continue making a difference in young people's lives.
His overarching message was basically to work on building relationships with those students, get to know those students, do different things, different methods to get to understand them. But most importantly is to build those relationships. Once you build those relationships, it'll foster the students to want to learn and be more effective at what they do on a daily basis.
I want to give them the message of thank you, basically, and let them know just how powerful they are as educators, because it was an educator who changed my life. And so wanting the teachers to feel a sense of hope, like, okay, I can do this. It's okay, because I'm going to be someone's lifesaver, and they need me. And so my message to the teachers is, please continue to keep going. We need you in education.
A season unlike any other came to an end as Norfolk Public Schools completed their fall regular season in athletics. Thanks to mitigation strategies, hard work, and discipline by all involved, our student athletes were able to compete in an abbreviated district schedule.
The review for fall athletics can be deemed a success with the number of opportunities that we were able to provide for our student athletes and coaches. We set out a goal of a season, and we were able to accomplish most of those games that were scheduled.
Over 80% of the football games were played, while field hockey came in at 78%. All volleyball matches and cross-country meets were played as scheduled.
In order to have this successful season, it took collaboration from every entity involved in the school system, from the administration from the top supporting, and then having our principals, having our athletic directors and our athletic trainers and our coaches buy into the mitigation strategies, because they were different and difficult, but they were able to buy in, become one team per se, to create success, and very proud of that.